With his take on the results last night out of New Hampshire is former Reagan political director and Fox News contributor Ed Rollins. Ed, good to see you.
Good morning.
It's got to be a lot of upset this morning in the Clinton campaign.
I would not want to be in that campaign. I imagine Big Bill is basically roaring and huffing.
How important is New Hampshire, and what does it tell you about the rest of the election?
It's very important for two reasons. One is it's kind of a culling factor, and obviously the voters get very involved in it. The kinder, gentler Trump, who came back humble from Iowa, and who is still not running a campaign. He still doesn't have TV up. He still doesn't have an organization. This is him. He's got a third of the vote, and he had an overwhelming victory there. And South Carolina is going to be, he's going to go in there roaring as a front runner. And the Republican Party is a very serious problem. Do you try and stop him, or do you basically jump on board?
What's your read on Kasich coming in second?
John is a very strong candidate. He's probably as knowledgeable as anybody in the field. This is a unique state again. You can track Democrats, independents. John's problem is he has no money. He's got no money, no organization. South Carolina, which is a tough state. He goes in there, obviously, as a candidate who's the establishment candidate today as opposed to Rubio. And I think to a certain extent, there's going to be real effort to knock him out of the box. And that's a state where you get knocked down real quick, real fast.
Reagan.
Ed, can Trump build an organization quickly at this point?
I don't know.
Machine.
I mean, if he wants to. The truth of the matter is he doesn't want to. And I think there's no question if Trump wanted to raise money or Trump wanted to get volunteers out there, he could do that. And now,
does he need to?
Sooner or later he does. Where you really need it is not necessarily South Carolina, which you need a lot more than you have today, but when you get into March 1st and you've got 10 states and 2 caucuses all on the same day, it's not just a question of flying over the state or going and doing performances. But I think Trump has to be taken very seriously and is a real potential nominee.
And Cruz,
wow.
Aren't you surprised a little bit with Cruz's stronger showing in New Hampshire?
Cruz has an extraordinary. The interesting thing, when Iowa took place, and he had a brilliant campaign there, and all the comments about stealing Carson's vote. We saw there were no votes to be stolen from Carson, as we saw yesterday, at the bottom of the pack. But at the end of the day, he sent a plane straight off some of his best operatives to South Carolina. He went off to to New Hampshire. He's got a strong organization. He is the conservative choice by far and away today. And my sense is South Carolina is a conservative state. It'll be a good place for him, good fertile ground.
Oh, really?
And Trump's been able to build this campaign and this groundswell, if you will, without a real boots-on-the-ground type operation. If he needs to build this, he talked a lot last night in his victory speech. He thanked everybody that was up on the stage with him, about 50 different people. But then he talked about really expanding that. Can he be the anti-establishment candidate?
He is the
building that.
Sure, he is the anti-establishment candidate, and I think the most amazing part of this is the promises that Trump has made and that Bernie Sanders have made is like Christmas in
yeah, right.
You know,
it'll never happen. I mean, free college.
Well, first of all, only if you eliminate the Congress and have any fiscal restraint. But I mean, that's what's going to be amazing to watch is that normally candidates say, pretty much here's my wish list and here's what I'm going to do. The wish list here is just unbelievable, and to a certain extent, Bernie Sanders is going to get attacked. But I think the key thing here is he is a viable candidate. He is creating a revolution on their side, and the only group Hillary carried was over 65. That's not enough to get you to the presidency.
The one thing that was, maybe it's not shocking, but it probably is to the Clinton campaign, who her supporters have denied this, that 91% of the voters that said that honesty and trustworthy were most important to them, 91% of them voted for Bernie Sanders.
Unbelievable.
She got 5%. Right. They don't trust. People do not trust her.
And now we know trust matters.
It matters as it should matter. And the reality is, it's very hard for someone that's been around for 30 years to basically change the image of you in the long run. The advantage she has is you're going south. You're going African American voters are very important in South Carolina and other places. She'll obviously do much better there. But she has a real problem with young voters and young women voters, and they're going to be hard to get back.
You said a minute ago, you said South Carolina is a tough state. What do you mean by that?
It's probably, there's really no rules there, and there's 3 elements to the state. You've got a very strong conservative party where they won't find Kasich acceptable. You've got a very strong military element there, which obviously Trump can go make his appeals there. It's anything goes. I mean, it's my former partner, protege Lee Atwater came out of there, and the game is drop for your knees, fire for the groin every morning, and it's I'll never forget.
Wow.
I'll never forget 4 years ago when Gingrich arrived at the airport. There were 3 mannequins dressed in wedding dresses, and they said, "Your wives welcome you to South Carolina." I mean, it's just vicious mail, vicious television.
So what do you expect to happen in South Carolina now? Let's talk about what's next.
What's next is starting today. I mean, Cruz is on the ground there building a structure Trump has to be in the structure. Kasich has to be in the structure there. I mean, they have some people, but it's not like a full-scale organization. It is a conservative state. We've been kind of in the all-white Republican turf of Iowa and New Hampshire. We now go to where it's a different element. You have African Americans who are going to obviously turn out in record numbers. But Hillary's campaign is wounded, and she's got to basically, she's not the inevitable nominee anymore.
What about Rubio? So the next GOP debate is this Saturday night. And Rubio showed some humility in saying that, you know, I fouled up in the debate. But does he need the debate to recover?
Oh, he needs the debate big time, and he has to be prepared to fight back. His problem is he didn't fight back, and I think to a certain extent you can't give the same robotic answer. I mean, he's a great debater. He's had 7 great debates till that one. But he doesn't go in now as a front runner or the establishment candidate. He's got to fight for his life, and probably he has to win something ahead, and there's nothing that's easy for him to win ahead. He then has to win his Waterloo is Florida. Florida is March 15th. It's 99, the winner-take-all. It's the first of the winner-take-all. If he can't win Florida...
March 15th.
March 15th, then he's done. If Trump, who's way ahead now in Florida, beats both Bush and Rubio there, he's really on his way.
And real quick, in terms of Sanders, we were expecting him to win
Not by the margin, though.
Okay, so that's the big surprise.
It's a gigantic margin. I mean, when you beat Hillary Clinton by 50,000 votes, that's very substantial.
All right, we'll leave it there. Ed, good to see you.
My pleasure.
Thanks so much, Ed Rollins there. Still to come.